Today I want to talk to you about a technique that I call thinning. I'll explain in a second why I call it that. Thinning, I use it for managing stress and anxiety. A lot of my clients come and they are feeling overwhelmed, they are feeling anxious, too many things to deal with. And when I ask them, what is it that stresses you out? What is it that is causing the stress in your life? They say things like, well, school, or so many responsibilities, my schedule. And when the brain thinks of all of those things in general, the package is way too big to be able to handle, for the mind to handle it, and it just feels overwhelming. It just feels like too much. But if we were to look at very specifically what are the things that are really causing stress, we can actually find a way of managing and finding that ease. Because the mind, when it thinks so broadly, when it thinks like, oh, school in general is so broad that the mind doesn't know which one to solve. It's too chaotic. So what we're going to do is actually thin it down. So let's use the example of school. So what is it that stresses you out? Let's say school. So one of the examples I had for one of my clients was, what about school stresses you out? Well, all the homework I have to do, all the drama from all of the people there, it's a lot of pressure to perform. I feel alone, and it's just, it's just a lot of stress. I don't have time for myself. So when you look at it, school, all of this is a lot. I would feel very stressed and anxious as well. But what we're going to do is actually we're going to prioritize or thin it down a little bit more. So the next question that you would ask yourself, or I would ask my client, is, out of this, which one gives you the most stress? So they might say, well, I want to say homework. So we'll start with homework. And I have them imagine or think, is homework more stressful than the drama that you experience at school? Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Is homework more stressful than the pressure that you're feeling to perform? Well, yes, homework is more stressful. Is homework more stressful than feeling alone? Or more stressful than time? And so let's say that they answer, yes, homework is most stressful. Then we put a number 1 next to it. Then we go with the next one. Is drama more stressful than pressure? No. Is pressure more stressful than being alone? Yes. Is pressure more stressful than time or not enough time? Yes. So we make this one a second one. Is drama more stressful than being alone? Yes. Is drama more stressful than not having enough time? Yes. So number 3, is being alone more stressful than not having enough time? No. Time is the 4th and the last one. So we organize it according to the level of stress that each produces in us. Sometimes they are mixed. Sometimes the pressure is also homework, or sometimes the drama is related to alone time, sometimes time. So they're related, and sometimes drama and homework, for example, would have the same amount of pressure because they're related in some ways. But we're going to figure out how to thin it down even more so we can address the most stressful thing first. So in this case, the most stressful thing is homework. So what about homework is most stressful? For example, catching up to everything that I have to do. not enough time, not understanding the material, too much homework, and so on. You can put your own. And so what we do is we use the same technique we used here, we use it here. So what about this one? Which one gives you the most stress? If you are not caught up, does that make you more stressed than not enough time? Yes. Being behind is so stressful. So we're gonna put that as number one. Is not understanding the material more stressful than this? No. Is too much homework more stressful than being behind? No. So then we categorize it according to what produces the most stress. So let's say that being behind and not enough time is second, and too much homework is third, and not understanding is fourth. Then you address the number one stressor for you, which is being behind and having to catch up. So you focus your attention on catching up. You focus on your attention, your efforts on not being behind. That's all. That's all you're going to focus on. So what this is going to do is going to reduce a lot of the stress, because imagine that you actually are not behind, that you're caught up. Can you manage not enough time? Yes. Can you manage not understanding the material? Yes, because you'll be able to catch up and do tutoring or something else. Too much homework? You'll be fine. But still, a lot of the times, these stressors become less stressful when you manage the one that causes you the most stress. And so let's imagine that you are caught up in your homework. Imagine being caught up in your homework. Can you deal with the drama? Can you deal with the pressure? Can you deal with the feelings of loneliness? Can you deal with not enough time? Much better, much better. Once you address that very specific need, that very specific stressor, the rest are more manageable. So this technique is thinning down to find the very specific stressor that you can address and do something about it. So it's not a very too general of a concept that the brain doesn't know what to start with, but you can thin it down until you find the one that the brain says, I can work on that. And it will relieve a lot of the stress and make you feel 10 times better. I hope this was helpful, and don't forget to subscribe.